In this video, I'm building a zoo while I keep you company and you fall asleep. In tonight's episode, I'm building a whole new area of the park with one of my favourite animals ever. So get comfortable and we'll get started. If you're new here, I'm MadMorph, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome home. This is my series where I play games and talk to you to help you sleep, and this is episode 51. So do subscribe for more like this and find more than 50 episodes like it on the channel in lots of different games. If you'd like more of me, check out my podcast Down to Sleep, where I read books to you, free on Spotify and everywhere you get podcasts. You can find all the links in the description, and no AI is used on any of my channels. So let's tuck you in. Take a nice deep breath. This is Planet Zoo Part 3. Good night. Welcome back to the Sleepy Zoo. We're right where we left off, with our friend, the orangutan. I hope you've been well. We're going to be continuing to build things out today, and seeing how we go. And a little surprise is I've picked up the DLC, because I saw that there was a swan, and I thought, I really want to make a swan habitat. I love swans. Anyone who's been watching for a while or follows me on Instagram knows that I have been feeding and following a family of swans near me for the last 3+ years. And so we're going to be building that today, as well as continuing work on our kind of savanna area here, which is looking really nice. And whilst I was there picking up the DLC, I might have picked up a few others as well. So we've got some surprises to come along the way, especially for our African exhibit as well. Because this area is going to turn into a sort of Africa vibe over on this direction, compared to this way, where you go off into the Arctic with our wolves and our polar bears. Let's take a look at our wolves here now. They're getting on quite nicely. I've given them a big area, but it works. And then it'll be Savannah vibes over here. And as a quick little refresher, we've got our lemurs here. The keyboard playing lemur, very famous. Probably went viral on whatever TikTok is in this world, and that's why everyone's here showing up. A bit like Punch the Monkey, you know? And over here we have our red pandas. I wonder how little Punch the Monkey's doing. Do you remember Punch the Monkey? Little monkey that went viral in a zoo. It was getting bullied and had a little, like a plushie that it thought was its mum. It was very cute. Also, I did see the comments pointing out as to why we haven't had a zebra baby yet. All of the zebras are men. So I think we've accidentally, if we just double check, we have Zaid here, 11-year-old male. We have Dabir, 20-year-old, and Burko, 16-year-old male. So I put 3 dudes in here, and that's why we haven't had a baby zebra yet. So we do need to put a lady into the zebra enclosure. So that's the plan for today. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been keeping cool and survived that last heat wave. It was extremely hot here. Came at the worst possible time for me getting recording done. But it's cooled off a little bit now before the summer starts. So I talked about it, how I've had an orangutan that I've adopted for the last few years now called Tim Tom. And funnily enough, after talking about it, because our phones are always listening to us, I had videos pop up from the, what's the word for it? The sanctuary in Borneo that takes care of these orangutans. And it was Tim Tom grown up. Like, Tim Tom looked like this when we adopted her. And now, she kind of looking like, well, this, but with longer hair, because I think this is the male, isn't it? Oh, this is the female. Okay. Well, she looks like that, but she's got quite long hair. And she's in this school for orangutans, where they essentially, it's jungle school. They kind of teach them how to survive, these ones that were pets or in captivity and so on. And they hope to give them enough resources and training that they can eventually be released into the wild where they belong. And so she's been there learning all of her how to be an orangutan, basically, which is very cute. And they sort of send, I think every 6 months get an update. They used to send them through in the mail, but you just get an email now with the newsletter, cut down on paper, obviously. And it's a cute thing to do, adopt an animal. So I will start off by saying, if you're stuck for a present for someone, I said this at Christmas as well, it's a great Christmas present, it's a great birthday present. Adopt someone, an animal for a year, and pick their favourite animal or something that reminds you of them. And it's a wonderful present, and it does great things for conservation. So, you know, look up whatever your region's charity is doing that, and check that they're legit and that it's good. And that's my little starting opener on that. So let's get into it. And I think we'll start off. Let's think about where we might put our swan. I think we've got to go straight in with the swans. I'm very, very excited. Can't remember the last time I was so excited to see a DLC with swans. And I think we might just come off in this direction. Leave all over here for the savannah. And we'll come off this way and maybe create a little British area or something, and we'll decorate it as well. So we're going to start off with a path. And I think maybe what we'll actually do is, so it feels distinct to the orangutan, we'll bring it off of here to begin with. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Change the width on there. Obstructed. How are you obstructed? Maybe we need to change that away from a staff path then. It's such a steep curve here that it won't let me change it for us to go into a different direction. But that looks about right. Let's maybe make it a bit thicker though. Go back one. There we go. That's nice. Nope. Forward, please. And a little less long. There we go. What we'll do is... Also, I'm going to take a quick look in the options. There's a couple of people requested turning down voices, and that we can do to make that a bit more enjoyable for you. The hubbub of people, I'm sure some enjoy it, but we're going to just take it down to about halfway. Okay. And of course, if at all, do get some comments saying, you know, turn the game down, I just want to hear your voice. If you just want to hear my voice, the podcast is the best place to do that, where I literally read audiobooks. If you just want me to read you a bedtime story and talk to you, that's the place to do that. Now, I don't think we want railings on this, do we? Or maybe we do. What if you come over a little pond area and it turns into a bridge almost out of here? We'll come around this way. And I'm going to break off up there. But first, we want a nice straight little line here. And slowly curve it around. And connect it up. Find a nice place to break out from. About there. And let's see if we can raise this up. You raise me up. So I can something. And we'll start bringing people into a little village. I'm assuming that with the DLCs we now have some interesting decorations we'll be able to do here. So let's start off with here. We don't want to go too crazy, and start thinking about the swans. Let's check out the animals. Reset our filters. We've got a bunch more animals in here, and if I put swan in here, we should have the mute swan. Oh, I love them so much. Xander. The swans I feed and keep an eye on are called... I called them Bella and Edward. It's not their actual names. They probably got swan names like Honkety Honk and Hiss Hiss Honk, you know, in swan language. It's their own thing. It's a bit like, you know, you could be from South Korea and called like Jin Yun, and then you come here and you call yourself John. It's kind of like that, but for swans, you know. So let's learn a little bit here. The mute swan, or Cygnus olor, is a large waterfowl that lives throughout Europe and Asia. with invasive populations in North America and Japan. I don't really like that they're considered invasive in those places, and you best be nice to them. It is white, with black feet and an orange-red bill, and black markings around the nostrils, eyes, as well as the edge and tip of the bill. A leucistic morph, can occur, which is almost indistinguishable in adults, where the legs have a pink colour instead of black. I'm going to change my name to leucistic morph. Juvenile swans are normally grey, but have a white plumage if exhibiting leucism. They go pink. Mute swans have a distinctive black basal knob, on the root of the beak between the eyes. The knob is generally larger in males. I'm such a child. But varies widely based on the individual environment and time of the year, growing larger in breeding males and females during mating season. Very nice. As a species of least concern, the mute swan is not endangered. The species is widespread across the world, inhabiting temperate regions. Often used as decorative fowl in parks and gardens, and escapees of such settings have established a naturalized population in the United States. They are protected across most of their range, and despite poaching, who's poaching them? I want to have a talk. Their population numbers are increasing. So that's what we're going to be doing with it. Sorry, I do need to look at its, what the setting is for it, what it likes. Europe, Asia continent, all of temperate mainland Eurasia, biomes temperate and aquatic. Okay. Fun fact, mute swans are the heaviest flighted bird. A particularly large male weighing 23 kilograms was the largest flying bird ever recorded. Although mute swans are monogamous, they do not always mate for life and may have several partners in their lifetime. But everything we know about swans is that they stick together. And are together for life. Why have we been lied to? So let's take a look at what we can do. I wonder if they could just be out and about, wandering around, hissing at people, giving a little peck. Grade 1 fence. Could we do a nice hedge? Resistance grade 1. We could do a nice hedge. We can do a nice hedge. We can make this proper little bit of Little Britain over here, can't we? Okay. So let's take a look at water. Oh yeah, we need to actually dig, don't we? We need to push in. Timberwolf has matured. Bless her. I can't wait to see these swans and hear what they sound like in the game. Swans actually do a little hiss every so often. They also wag their tails. And then sometimes, the cygnets especially, they kind of sound like puppies. They do little whines. So let's make... It's going to be like... Oh, wait. Sculpting. Push. I have to change... It's trying to do snow, so we have to change the paint to grass. There we go. Okay, go back. And we shall begin. A little bit of a preamble to get started, I know, but I feel like you're just here to kind of hang out and talk about animals and stuff anyway. And honestly, a big part of my idea for this series even starting was so I could just hang out and talk and play without worrying about being too boring or taking too long to get to the game, I always do put the games kind of first and center, but it does take that pressure off in terms of just like, hey, we're here to hang out. Because it's always on your mind when you're making something thinking, oh my gosh, I'm taking too long to get to the point, but around here, the point, much like in life, is just to be. Just to exist and float along the waters of life like a mute swan, or a cygnet rather, in the swan boat of your mother. They actually ride in the sort of on the body and in amongst the wings of their parent. Sometimes get the whole brood in there, all 6 swans just riding along. Hence, swan boat. Might be one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life. Because originally, the kind of idea that where this series spawned from was I was going to do like a general kind of podcast, because I guess everyone with a microphone wants to do a podcast now, but I already had the sleep podcast where I read books. I've been doing that for 5 years. And I kind of wanted one where I would just talk about stuff and ramble and kind of it still be, you know, hey, come and hang out and listen, but it's just about whatever. It's not me reading a book, you know? Kind of a blend between the sleep podcast and the gaming, which I've done for over 10 years now. And I was kind of thinking on that for a while, months and months and months, honestly. And it came to me in the shower one time and I thought, I should do that, but like with a game. The game should be up. Because for someone without a face, who's just here without a camera and everything else, deciding what to put on your screen can be a real pain. And I thought that solves that problem. And also the game is like a little bit of a leaping off point. Games bring up conversations, they're conversation starters, topics for us to talk about. And some extra nice, cozy ASMR sounds on the screen whilst it's all going on. So that is how it all started, and the idea led us here. The little seeds. From mighty oaks that grow in the land of Lothlorien. So we're going to do a little thing here. We're going to go over the water into the land of Britannia. Okay. So let's go ahead and fill this with a little bit just to take a look how it's doing at the moment. It's going to sort of start out like this. You come over, you're into Britain. We're going to have some swans, yada, yada, yada. We'll come back and fix this out. And then, of course, we could do a fence around here. And this could even be part of the swan enclosure. They could swim in here, you know, just like we did with our Jurassic World build the other day. With the island with the Gallimimuses on, which was a real pain, but I'm feeling like we can get it done this time. So let's switch back to our pathway. And go like this. It's a shame I can't paint, isn't it? Because people always bring up Bob Ross when I do these videos. I can't paint, unfortunately, otherwise that would be something I could do. I've only ever seen little bits. There was one time they did a marathon of Bob Ross on Twitch, and I checked in, and all I really took from it was that he pronounces white as white. I'm going to take this cerulean blue here, white on the clouds, stuff like that, right? So then we need to come down off of our bridge, come back forward a bit more. Why is it putting that through there like that? Why do they look so strange? Ah, there we go, it got rid of them. Perfect. I think that's a nice little bridge over troubled waters as we come around. Keep that same width, keep that same energy. Up in a straight line. Barriers are off, and then we'll break off at an angle here. No, what are you doing? Straight up. How do we do align to grid, I think, if I just want us to come off of the sides. Bum bum bum. There were some really good tips in the comments. There was one that was really good about the temperature. I must remember that if we do something with temperature. And a couple of other ones as well, which I've already forgotten, and I do apologize. Wow, look at this beautiful circular path we can make by doing a line to grid this way. That would make such a lovely corner with shops and stuff. That's wonderful. I'm going to throw that right in there to do that immediately. So we'll come over this way and give ourselves a little bit of room to start looking at, and actually what we need to do is pick our path for this area. We don't want it to be the same as everything else, so let's pick the most British looking path we can possibly find. And as I am one, it should be perfect. Cobblestone I'm already attracted to. The log, the bark stuff like that I think we save for kind of other vibes. Rustic path? Looks a little bit too posh. Let's go back down to that cobblestone. It may be as simple as that. Cobblestone, very British. Stone slate, that looks pretty good. That will look really nice with a hedge fence around it. Try that in here. It's pretty gorgeous. And let's try the cobblestone to compare. For me, the cobblestone's a bit dark and too smallly patterned, so it starts to kind of replicate too quick. Looks a little bit like a magic eye book. You ever have one of those as a kid when you put your face close to the page and slowly pull back and it's like, wow, it's an image. There's a tiger in the book. Volcanic rock path, wow. I'm guessing a lot of these are the DLC paths I bought. These weren't here before. Kind of funny to buy so much DLC when the new one's coming out in a few months, but I really just thought, you know, I'm enjoying it. Let's get them and get all of the options that we can for you guys. So we're going to go with the stone slate path. For me, this is a little bit fat, this pathway here. So I want to reduce this, and we're going to go slightly less width as we come off from it. And now that that's a circle, we'll come off here. Off on a little walk and a merry jaunt to the land of Swan. Now, let's grab our barriers. We're going to go with a hedge. Now, how can people see if we're doing a hedge as a barrier? How do people see? How do you put... Let's do a little test. Go across with a hedge. So there's a hedge that marks a barrier. Then if you put glass in here, that's going to look weird, right? I guess it doesn't look super strange. But I'm just not sure what else you would do. It also feels weird to put swans so enclosed. They're not a danger. Does it say anything about them? Their needs for that? It says resistance 1, but you would assume they could just be free. They want, oh my god, yes, we have to breed them. Because that will be so cute to see the signets. They've become so important to me. I'm almost wondering if you shouldn't be able to see them and the hedge should be part of the vibe around here, but actually if we should dig down and make it so that they can't get out. The fact that they can fly though, won't they just fly out and be around the park? I don't understand how these swans are going to be kept in here, but I mean we'll go through it and see what happens. So my thought was, if we also went down here to where the swans aren't getting out, and you're kind of just walking around a lovely beautiful pond, actually. I'm almost sort of recreating my favourite place. And we'll switch to the flattened foundation tools, that makes things a little easier here. And they could even have a little island that they chill on. And it could lead around to a space for food and stuff. So let's have a little play with this. Ah, I need to take the water out of there, don't I? To continue. Now it'll let us break through. There you go. Okay. Okay, so that's a nice shape to that. I'm wondering if it needs to come all the way around, really. Up to here. And then if we do... You could kind of have a little home up here. Where they come out of the water. And then we'll hedge that off for privacy. And a path can come around to where they can then be fed and stuff. So we can kind of do it that way. Let's try that. So this pathway needs a little adjustment. Around. Because it's a little bit close to the edge here. I love that you can just like go over this now and people could go over it and you could connect that back up. Like that's bloody cool the way that works. That could be something we do also. But for now, I just want it to come up to here. And kind of follow around and then it will change to a staff path. So from here, let us throw some water in. Flatten that foundation so they can't slink up out of here. Timberwolf is about to have offspring. I believe we have already seen the children, but let's take another look at the little cub. Little wolf pup. You can do it, sweetheart. Deep breaths. Long howls. Of course, the men are just over there barking and fighting whilst you're giving birth. Bloody useless, isn't they, love? There you go. There's the baby. Let's meet you. Eremius, the Timberwolf. What a cutie pie. Oh, absolute darling. And everyone's loving it. You just watched them give birth. I once, we had a mummy cat, is what we would call them, when we rescued a cat that was pregnant, and then we would take care of them until they had kittens and then rehome them. I was like 5 or 6 or something, around that age. And I woke up early in the morning, and she was giving birth. And so I grabbed my dad's like VCR camera and like put it under the desk where she was filming and like set it up. And I was like, I'm capturing the miracle of life. She's in there with her kittens and giving birth right now. This is crazy. Doing voiceover and narration. And then I took it to school and I was like, I filmed this. Can we watch it? And this is how crazy schools were back in the day. They were like, sure. And we all went off into the other room and put the tape on that I had filmed VHS, because it would just go straight onto a tape in those days. You didn't need to edit or put it onto anything. And watched me narrating pure darkness, pure pitch black, because it was just under the desk, pointing at, you know, the dark as a cat gave birth. And me narrating. And then in my excitement, having forgotten all the silly things that I did and said whilst recording it, like burping into the camera and stuff in excitement, and everyone laughing at me and being like, why are we watching this? But you know what, I was excited and I wanted to share the miracle of life and animals with everyone, so it is what it is. Put the water back in here. We'll give them some nice calm water. Up to obstructed. Why are you obstructed? Because we want it to be up to the highest point. Although actually, no, we don't. We want it to be about there because we don't want them to be able to hop out, do we? Or rather, it's more a case of wanting to keep people away from them. Can we do a really small hedge? Is that a thing? Can I make the hedge really short if I wanted to? So if this was here... Oh my god, this might be perfect. Okay. We can do a hedge around it that people can look over. This might be the bee's knees. Let's set that in place now. And then the path can follow that. So edit this barrier. Bring it down completely. Excuse you, I want you to go down. There you go. Okay. Oh, deleted accidentally. Height. Do we set the height beforehand? Height, snap. Yes. Small. No, that hasn't worked. If I place a bunch first and then I do it, does it do it? To do it like this. Okay. And we'll have our little hedge come around. Honestly, it's something I would really recommend if you're lucky enough to have wildlife near you. And this can be anything. You don't have to be in Britain and have British swans, and you know, most places have a pond nearby or a river with ducks if you're lucky enough to have that. But you might have, you know, local cats. You might have raccoons. You might have possums or gulls or birds, I would assume. And all kinds of things, whatever is kind of native to your area. And just, like, pay attention. Just notice them, start to watch through the season, you know, when spring comes around and they're having babies. Pay attention to that, see their babies if you can. Watch them for a while, find somewhere to sit and see what they do. When they're calm with you there and it's just you carrying on and they're carrying on and you're existing in the same space together, and see how it changes through the year when it comes to summer and those babies grow up and eventually move away. And just all of that, and kind of experience that, go through the season with it. With this life that is on your doorstep that you've never noticed, whether it's a fox in the neighborhood, you know, it could be a coyote that is coming around. Bees in the garden, whatever you got. And I promise you, it'll be an experience. It will open your mind and your heart to things that aren't even related to the animals that you haven't been feeling and thinking for a while. It's very, very special. You just let yourself kind of connect with nature in any kind of way. This is bugging me, this little bit of odd, thin world here. So we're going to blend that in by bringing it back up under the bridge. Because I don't think I can actually flatten it beyond that, because it sort of needs it for where that bridge is coming down. So we'll do this. Hopefully this doesn't mean that it needs a barrier there, in which case we might have to come forward with the path, but if I do it like that, I don't think there's anything really for the swan to get out and do there. Alright, let's get our water back in. Let's get your water back in and get some bloody swans, mate. So for now, because I want to get these swans in here and see how they move around it, let's complete this barrier. It's going to come around and up here. Change the length on there. And we'll just come up to there and then we'll come like this. So we can give them a beautiful land area too. They don't just want to be on the water the whole time. But we'll probably do an island as well. It's all a work in progress. Now I don't really want that to suddenly go up like that. So let me put that in and we'll start to, if we can, adjust the heights on these slowly around the back. So it's a gradual raise. And honestly, we could probably raise everything that's around the back here, as this is not for viewing, this is for habitat. And there will then be a gate. Oh my god, there's small wooden gates now? That must be from a DLC, because I don't think we had this before. That's so cute. And if we have that there, comes out into a staff path. And just immediately connects up around a little turn. How do we want that to look? Like that, a little squiggle. Take a look at the designs actually. Is there a more fitting one? That one fits a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so now we have, this is barriered, this is barriered. Can they sneak along here? I think I did that as much as I could. We could just put a little hedge here for the vibe. Little hedge. Block you in a little bit. Almost want to do like a line of hedge in front, but honestly this red brick is a little bit kind of a British vibe anyway, so we can actually chill on that. But what I will do is cover this with a tree or something. So I think you're going to be in here and coming around here, so this also needs hedging off. And this can perhaps be a bit longer because it's not for viewing. And we want to start bringing people into it. It's almost like, you know, you're coming down here and suddenly you're entering into a new place. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe's going on. You've got Narnia on your doorstep, right? We just need to bring this around somehow. So let me... come on. Come on. I don't quite want you to be there. I think we need to take a little bit of the edge off. There we go. Get you as close to the bridge as we can. And then start curving. There we go. That's absolutely perfect. And we're going to come along here. And just... I wonder if you could even do... Couldn't you? You could have them come up here and have a little area, actually. That people can look at them through. Let's do that. So it becomes... Don't want people clogging up the bridge there, but it would look really good there, so we're just going to do it. Just not going to think about that too much. And... I was then going to do shops and stuff here. We could incorporate that into being part of the habitat, but for now we'll do this. Where that connects up there, and I will come back and fix this up. Beautify it later. Now, sweetheart, why are you curving that way instead of around? Because that's not what we want, is it? So I'll tell you what I want to do is put glass here. I guess we could just do a curve fully there. Does that work? Or even... Why are you not curving? Why are you not curving? Around here. It's not quite... Not quite my tempo. So let's get that to halfway. And then try to do it. Start doing a little easy curve. It doesn't quite like that corner, does it? Okay. Try it in 2. Try it in 1, actually. Remove that. Do 1 all the way across. 7 meters. Yeah, how do I rotate the way this angles? Because I want it to curve around this path, not into it. But it's not behaving. Curved sections. Height. One-way glass. Curved barrier. Top. keeps trying to curve into the thing. Oh my god, and now I accidentally deleted it. Okay, forget the curve. Can we even come up from here? We can't. This pathway is causing a real issue. If it then switches back to hedges, it has to cut in so deep. Okay, let's drop this path. Change this to the right way round. It kind of feels insane actually to put glass here, but I just don't know if the swans are going to pop over. Maybe it would be better as a little hedge. Let's see what happens. Sorry. I care very deeply about getting this swan one right. Oh gosh, nope, that's fine where it is. Change to a hedge. There you go. In which case, bring that path back. And then just change this to a hedge. And then take it down. We'll go from there. And we'll maybe just reduce that actually. So it has more space to come around. Like so. Okay, now bring these down. And we'll see how we go from here. We'll just fill this in as another little space for the swannies. Bring our length up. Straighten things up. And come around this area here. Because obviously here, the swans are just out. There's no need for a habitat, but I'm assuming if they're just loose in the zoo, that's not great. But we're going to find out. Hopefully they don't fly and end up in a, you know, the wolves' habitat or something. That would be disastrous, wouldn't it? So this now should be a good place for us to bring our swans in and start seeing what happens. So we've got a lovely male swan. Let's go for the biggest boy. He's called Luke, and we adopt him and bring him in. We're going to put him here. Invalid destination. Why? Why invalid? Needs to be closed off. Needs to be a full habitat, I guess. So maybe it does need to be sealed in some way. Interspecies enrichment. Mute swan can share with deer, boar, wisent, and red deer. We can have multiple creatures. That's definitely something we should do. Okay, I think it has to be closed somehow. What about the null barrier? Let's try that. It needs something set, doesn't it? In which case, how we've done it over here becomes a problem because the barrier can't go over the water. Well, it can, but I think it's when it's too close to the path, it's not keen. Let's try this. Okay, so I connect that up. Connect that up with a null. That's now closed off. This is all closed off all the way around to here. We then need a null barrier on here to come along and connect here. So this, they come up on here, so then we need a null barrier here. I suppose, to come out. I don't see them coming to this point. Connect this around this way. Now I need to somehow get that over there so it feels like a one full habitat. Let's connect that here. Let's just try something and just come all the way across. Still kind of learning how these nulls work. Going to be important for the eventual mega build. Habitats have merged and become invalid. Remove excess habitat walls to split it. What? What do you mean? Habitat 6 has merged. Fix multiple habitat gates. Okay, so we need to not connect to this at all. It's not touching though, so I'm not sure how it's merged it. Is it still merged? Maybe we need to remove this gate for a second. Because that says habitat 12. Put a gate back on here for now. And then try again. Let's see. We've started off ambitiously, but we shall get there. Okay, I'll come across the water instead. I won't go near that gate. Let's delete that. If anything, I would have thought it would have merged with the Orangutan. Here in the heart of the baobab tree. Let me see, if we come across here, I just want to try something. Okay, if I connect that there, it's fine. Maybe it's this wall here being connected. So let's think about this. Here's what we'll do. Take down that wall. And this one. They'll come up through this center bit. Where we could almost, oh my gosh, we could like create a river that goes around this whole area that they could swim down, lined by hedges if this works. They could literally, we could have this lake become a river and it could come around here and they could go into different habitats with the deer and stuff. That would be cool. But we need to get this bit right to build that out. So, back to terrain work. Let's drop the water out for a second. We have a thinner, flattened foundation come up and through. Like this. So they can get into this area. Consider that like the start of our kind of like river or something. Come back and adapt it later, and then we'll bring this away from the wall. And we'll just do like hedgerow across there or something. Of its own thing. Put a load of rocks here, such and such. So let's put the water back in. Bom, bom, bom. And the river needs cleaning up, but don't worry about it for now. Oh, put the water back in. Thank you very much. We'll come back to the river. So now we just need our hedge. Does that side need anything? I think we need to... So swim, swim, swim. How do we not... It's not understanding why they merge is the problem. If we keep this fully separate, coming around to here... And let's, as an experiment, connect that. Did that merge? Didn't seem so. Would it now let me bring in our friend? We have Martin the Mute Swan. And it's ready to be put in to our habitat. Great. Bring Martin over. Delivery is scheduled. But pause for a quick second because we just need to then make it so he can't get over here. This little area. Do I dig that out or do I do rocks? I think I'm going to go with terrain as the solution. Pull the water out for a quick tick. Sculpt our terrain. Oh no, because if you swim in there, then I'm going to have to redo that barrier. Hang on, put the water back in. We'll do rocks. Dun, da, da, da. Go to nature. Go to rocks. Go to our filters. Nothing in the aquatic. Go to temperate. And just gonna block this off and then we'll put trees in front. Bum, ba, da, bum. Oh yeah, someone said there's something you can turn on and it rotates just as you place stuff. That was the good tip. That was a really good tip, whoever left that one. There we go. So now that shouldn't be an escape. I'm going to bring this down slightly because it looks a little bit crazy. It's only swans. No luck catching them swans then. And let's see what happens. We of course want some food for them. What do they give them? What is the thing? Let's filter it by species and it will show us what suits them best. This was the thing that scared me about buying the DLC, it's going to be a bit overwhelming with options. Okay, we can give them a pipe and a trough. So I've got a water trough here. I mean, you're surrounded by water, but I want to make sure you've got plenty. And food bowl. Large. Just so the keeper can come in and make sure you're being taken care of. And bedding for swans. We've got some beautiful leaves. I'm going to put you about there because I'll build something around you. Are you here? Martin! Hello, mate. Here we go, our first swan. Oh my god, I love them so much. Look at this gorgeous boy. I just want to give him a hug. Look at that waddle. They're pretty large. The one near me is quite large. He's come up to me before out of the water, and when they're out of the water they're suddenly a lot more scary, honestly. He's could almost get up at my face if he wanted to. They're huge. I'm like 6'2". You making little noises. We gotta find you a mate. But I want to see where you go first. You're going down into the water. There you go. Have a little swim. So beautiful. And look at the reflection in the water. This is stunning. And people are looking from up there. This is working out. One of my favorite thoughts is be like the swan. Look how serene it is on the surface of the water, above the surface, and underneath. Its little feet are paddling to keep itself going. Sometimes you gotta be like a swan. It's always resonated with me because people always think I'm really chill, like in real life. My whole life people have said, you're so chill, you're so chilled out, you're so calm. Whenever it comes, you know, when you're young and you're hanging out, it's like, what do you guys think of each other? Why'd you think of me? People pick the traits and all the rest of it, and people have always said, you're so chill, it's aloof, you're relaxed, so calm. And I'm like, in my head, no. I'm like, I'm glad you think that, but paddling for dear life under the surface. So be like the swan. That's always stuck with me. So we've got our beautiful swan, Martin de Mute, who needs some enrichment and other such things. So let's take a look at your environment. It's now time to paint and decorate and bring things in. The plants, you want temperate and aquatic nature. It's nice to come back to this after playing Jurassic World where you just pick and paint and it kind of throws all of them in. I do enjoy actually placing stuff, you know, brick by brick, much like one would build an FYP. What do we have for aquatic plants? Underwater hydrillas, hyacinths, a rock arch. Whoa, that's crazy. I mean, this is much more penguin themed if you ask me, and we're going for British over here, so let's head to temperate. I have a beautiful hibiscus in my garden, which I know is a hibiscus because last spring into summer actually is when it flowers. I put it on my Instagram story and I was like, what is this? And lots of people were like, it's a hibiscus. It's beautiful. I put up a little video of a bee going into it and pollinating, you know. And it's not looking great this year. It's not really blooming yet. I'm worried the heat wave has affected it. It's not looking good. It's not as not as pretty. But I'm hoping it's just getting going. Some early bloomers, perhaps. But I will say, for long-time listeners, that know that for years I've been trying to grow a wildflower patch and bee bombs and pollinators for the garden, and it's never worked. I finally have a wildflower patch. It worked this year. So I've got a beautiful little section of the garden that is wildflowers. I should put a picture, really. I'm quite private. I don't like sharing stuff, but I'll angle a picture so it's not like I'm showing you my house or anything, but I'll show you the wildflowers because they're really, really doing well. It's beautiful to see. So we'll put some flowers along here. It doesn't seem like you are too fussy about your plants, so we can put a couple of these in to look pretty along the back here. And see what else we have in ways of trees and stuff. Why did you take my filters off? Biome, temperate, there you go. Let's see what we've got. We've got an apple tree. That would be really cute for the British vibe around here. Let's give you a little apple tree, Martin, over by your food. Martin, he lives among the apple trees. Martin, he's the swan and sometimes he does a sneeze. He's got hay fever, he's Martin the swan. He's Martin the mute swan. He's got the tism. That could be, the mute swan could be a really cute representation for non-verbal, couldn't it? Though then, you know, they aren't actually mute, they're quite noisy, but just by the name alone, that would be very sweet. I think, you know. Let's put, I mean, azaleas are so pretty. Lepio pine doesn't quite go. The apple tree is gorgeous, we're keeping that. There's autumn leaves, but we're going for spring. Aster, azaleas, bald cypresses, basket fern, beech tree. That's nice. Bamboo, no. Poplar tree, no. Broken cherry blossom. Something like this in the water could look really cool. So we're probably going to do like an island here, but let's bring this over here in the water as a point of interest. And then we'll bring it up. That could look really good. And we'll do one here that's just going to be kind of like sticking out, just so stuff doesn't look, you know. I'll arrange those in a second. Oh, I've got some beautiful... Oh, that was not me kissing you. That was accidentally clicking the favourite. Just a little... You just drifted off there. A little forehead kiss. Oh, buddleias. These are really good. These flowering buddleias are gorgeous. And I think they're really, really good for butterflies. Actually, if you grow them. Oh, there we go. Get another little variety in there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful for Martin. Only the best for Martin. California redwood. Whoa, my goodness. We could do a redwood area. That's a long-term dream, is to see the big redwoods. Oh, wow. This looks so cool. We should do a redwood. What animals would be in the redwood? Because I probably won't get to it in this video. Let me know what... So if we do this, we'll do British. We'll do our savannah safari zebras in Africa. What would be good in a redwood area? Maybe that could be the nighttime raccoons and stuff. I don't know. Well, what's around there? Let me know. Cattails. These could be good to kind of just like make the water feel a little bit lived in here and there. So it's not just an empty block. Though I don't really recognize these. We don't have them around here at least. Where they are, but who knows. Just little bits of, you know, it grows. I mean, life finds a way, doesn't it? There we go. A cherry blossom. Well, we've already done cherry blossoms in with the red pandas, so I'm not going to go cherry blossom here, but they are beautiful. Flowering Chinese lantern. Grapes. Foxgloves. Ah, lovely. Wow, we could really do a full vibe of the gardens along here, couldn't we? And make it feel right British, innit? Sunflowers. Gorgeous. Stick a little sunflower in here, welcoming people. Welcome to Narnia. Want some pickled eels? There we go. Jellied eels, actually. I don't know. I've never known anyone who's ever tasted a jellied eel. I feel like they're just for tourists and for people who are in the east end of London, that is, as a delicacy. It's for the oldies and the tourists. You want a jellied eel, mate? Water lilies. Now that is perfect for what we're doing here. We just want to bring it up to the surface. It almost looks a little bit better, slightly under. The colour on it is just that bit better. Give him a little rotate here. Just as variety around here for Martin. Spreading across, maybe switch to the smaller ones, change the sizes up a little bit. Like so. Come out of that and pick a different one. See these ones being the same size in too close an area. Bring that over here and we'll push this little one up there and bring this one down here. There you go, just a few patches. Oh, large azalea bush, that's gorgeous. I think he wants some stuff in this area a little bit. Let's take a look at what we have in terms of trees still. Bracken. That's perfect. That is very, very wildlife vibe. That's what we need. More of that. Let's fill this wall in here with that. So where it's just kind of, it's rewilded and it's overgrown. And it's come out and it's taking over and it just feels like home, you know? For Martin over here. So instead of this full on just, here's a block hedge and then it's grass, you've got beautiful overgrowth in that area. Brambles in front. Brambles are a nightmare. I let my garden rewild and just go absolutely crazy and grow out all of last year. And I had these brambles absolutely take over. And I was like, that's cool. You know, they're good for wildlife and birds to feed on. They were started to grow blackberries on them. And smaller animals can like hide in them from predators and nest in them and stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it. I'll let it completely get overgrown and let nature do its thing for the year. And I'm still pulling out brambles now. A year later, as I've redone it for spring and grown wildflowers and stuff, there's just brambles growing everywhere now. Which is fine, but it's definitely doesn't go down easy once it's time. I waited till, I think it's like winter or when spring's about to start is when you then cut stuff back. And now I'll just let it grow again, but trying to maintain it a little bit more. But I'm not someone who's like, oh, it has to be this way and that way and don't let stuff grow, because I think it's really important for all the wildlife and all the nature to have its things. Most of it really has its place, you know. Unless it's a really invasive, damaging thing. There's usually a reason for it being there, and I kind of allow for that. Not every weed needs to just be pulled straight up, you know. So, oh, that's the one thing I don't have, the barnyard expansion. Or did I just buy a few? What did I get? I thought I got them all. Must have missed that one. Holly tree, no. Hookthorn acacia, no. Are we just going apple trees? Ivy, we could cover that wall in ivy, that would look amazing. I literally feel like this looks like the end of my garden. I have a wall at the end of my garden because on the other side is like some building thing. And it looks like this. I've just got a wall at the end. But I do have a patch of ivy that is like that, but maybe thinner and growing all the way up it and down it, and like a fir tree that I have there. But it was actually my neighbour's ivy that was growing in her garden and up her wall, her side of it. And she had hers actually removed. And then it, hardy as it is, stayed alive on my side and kept growing. And I left it. I quite like it, to be honest with you. I think it's quite pretty there, actually. Oh, sweetheart, we had it perfect. Why did you... I was trying to duplicate what I was doing. What an absolute pain. What a naughty, naughty little ivy. Here we go. Horizontal. There we go. Oh, it's remembered it. Perfect. Pop that there. Pop that there. This is going to look so nice. There we go. Much better. And then as it comes to this way, it just thins out to the end. There we go. And we'll fill the gaps in actually with that slightly lesser one. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Even put some patches where it's kind of coming down the wall. To fill that in. Here we'll have it be a bit more organized. Okay. Just loving all these flowers. Nettles, I mean, that is a British staple, isn't it? Growing up and being stung. I've been stung by a nettle. If you've never been stung by a nettle, you never live. Do you have nettles where you are? What's the hey, look out for that thing where you are when you go out as a kid? Do kids still go out, or are you inside on your iPad, eh, you little monkey? Getting a nettle sting was the one back in the day, and then you had to find a dock leaf. This was like everyone's introduction as a child to herbology and the magic of nature, wasn't it? It was getting stung by a nettle and someone going, you need to find a dock leaf and then put the leaf on it. And it's like, what do you mean put the leaf on it? There's topiary. We can absolutely have such a cool area. I'm going to put that there to remind me for our little British vibe here. And a hedge arch. It couldn't get any more perfect, guys. Oh, I just wish that would actually fit the size of the path that I've done, but it can fit this one, so that's fine. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. It doesn't need to come all the way over, but we might... It's turning into Alice in Wonderland, isn't it? A Virginia Creeper. That sounds like a Netflix documentary. Virginia Creeper 1. Okay, I mean, it's a pretty colour. And all I knew was in that deep summer in the 70s in Virginia. And once we knew, I looked in that file and I thought, this connected. This is the 5th one. We got ourselves a Virginia Creeper. And from that point forward, we was looking for that Virginia Creeper. I've been searching for him ever since. West Virginia. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so let's take a look at you, Martin, and make sure we've been placing the right things. I got a little bit wrapped up there in the old placing of your environment. You're good for 100% on plants and plenty of coverage for you. I think we're good on size and everything else. You wanted 300, you've got 600. And you wanted 150 meters squared of water, and I've given you 1,893. The boy is happy. But you do want a bit of long grass, so I'm going to switch to our terrain tool, long grass, and paint this in for you. Everywhere. Because it seems to me that you lived your life like a mute swan in the river. Now, there's not a ton of land here. Are you telling... Wait, you're telling me you want short grass? Sorry, I've misread this. Let me change to a larger brush. You don't want long grass. Haha, there you go. Is there... Can I change the colour of that short grass? This is not the colour of British grass. It looks weird. Doesn't look like we have any different grass options. I might just be being fussy because it's a swan. Right, play. So you're good with everything here, but you need enrichment. So we'll bring that in, and then we're going to bring in a mate for Martin. And from there, we shall await a beautiful baby, a beautiful cygnet. A forage pool. Let's maybe put this over here, somewhere for you to... A beaver pool for our cygnet, for the swans. I think they've recently reintroduced beavers. We do have beavers here in certain... I've never seen one. But I mean, this is cute, and this is enriching for you. I mean, sure. Let's go with that. Where do you like it? I feel like this... Does it fit the vibe? I feel like I could decorate around this and I could make it fit the vibe. Do you know what I mean? To be honest. It needs to be placed so close. Maybe if we put it right by the edge of the water here, you'll come up and use it. Take it down slightly. It's not quite in there. Back a bit. And then there. Try that. I can, you know, do some azaleas and whatever around that. I want to see if Martin can actually come over there and get out of the area, honestly. In which case, we may end up having another staff entrance here and some more food and stuff. But I'm going to wait to see what we do with the river. Because we want him around here. That looks good. A little bit of a rock dirt vibe there as it comes around. I would change that to soil, actually. Do a heavy soil. It's too much. Go back to grass. Just want to slightly colour the edge. Do a smaller brush for the look. Because it just looks weird the way the grass comes down into the river. Hopefully this isn't upsetting your terrain settings, Martin. And from there... Oh, ring-tailed lemur is about to pass on from old age. Another one who has served us beautifully. Go softly, my sweet monkey. You are loved, and we thank you for your time. Up the climbing frame when he went. Siraka, 21 years old. Oh. R.I.P. So let's bring in a little friend for Martin. Robin, that's cute. Well, there's Andra. Let's pick the one with the better stats for you there. Robin the Swan. And bring you in here. Generally, is from what I know, swans when they're together and they're mating, they don't like other swans around. But there are flocks of swans because when the juveniles leave, they actually join a flock and they hang out with other people, with other groups of swans, and that's when they actually learn to like fly and how to live and stuff. Because they're with the parents for like 6 to 9 months and then they move on. They're chased off by the cob, which is the male swan. And they have to go and find somewhere else to find a mate. But they're also still juveniles. They usually go and join a group for a while and then they find a mate in that group and then go off and find somewhere together, which is quite cute. But the fact that the male swan will chase the babies off for the next one, they're very territorial. I mean, I love going there and watching them and, as I said earlier, noticing and stuff, but spring, nature gets crazy. Nature gets, you know, it's life or death out there. It's thinking, I've got to fight and chase away all of these other animals and babies that are fighting for resources of my children and my line. And it gets sad, you know, and it gets tense. It's like not always a lovely, relaxing place to be when it's breeding and baby time in nature. I guess that's part of it. But sometimes it gets a bit intense, it gets a bit much. So here we go, the lovely Robin is here. And we shall wait for them to meet. Diseased animal. Oh. Robin's not very well, so we need to call the vet to come and have a look and take care of her before they can meet. So yeah, socially they're 100%. They don't want anyone else in here. Bum, 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 and they want some more enrichment. So let's go back to putting enrichment in. But yeah, it's sad, man. Like that. The swan near me, I love him, but he gets brutal around this time of year. Earlier, a couple of months. With all of the other animals and their babies. So let's go... Where is it? Habitat enrichment. Okay. A slow feeder. A water jet. A water pool. I mean, yeah, there's not much in terms of enrichment, is there, for you? I'll give you a slow feeder. A disco ball. It just feels so, feels a bit fake. It feels not real enough for me. But let's see if that's enough enrichment. If not, I might put the forage pool in. Can the forage pool be in the lake? Like, can I bring this up here and you forage from it in the water? Or maybe it has to be refilled. Inaccessible. Ah, okay. Actually, let me try something. If I bring it up to the surface, is it still inaccessible? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because it's so bloody big. Listen, you've got all the space in the world, Martin. Ah, you're happy with enrichment now. Very good. Yeah, where's my mate? Well, she's just taken a little trip to the doctor's. And then she'll be back, and you're going to make us some beautiful signets. But in the meantime, you are absolutely the talk of the town. With people clustering on the bridge. And looking at one swan. You know? And there you are. Swimming around, enjoying your life. I'm curious... I mean, he's just been chilling for a very long time. I am curious to see if he can get up here. We kind of have to be patient. I wonder if I can push this terrain. That's as much as I can push it without removing the water and doing something, so... He's getting out. He's climbed up onto land. I may need to edit this barrier real quick. The tail wag. They do that. They wag their tails. It's usually like, it can be a thing of like stimulation or like, you know, the same way of like a puppy happiness or even like a warning thing. Also they do it when they get out of the water just to shake the water off, but it's very cute when you feed one and then they're like, you know, give a little tail wag and you're like, that was happiness. It's probably just shaking water off, but it's nice. These little things we do when we communicate. I need you not to escape, sweetheart. That's the thing. Habitats have become merged. Don't tell me you just did it again. Who's merged? Habitats have become merged and invalid. Remove excess habitat and gates. Who? It just says habitat 13. Has it merged with the monkeys? What is going on? Fix multiple habitat. Okay, so I can't... But if you come under here, you're going to escape. I'll have to fill this in with rocks. This is why I'm keeping an eye on him. Because we need to... swan-proof it all. To where he's not getting out. And it's not that he's going to get out, but he's going to cause just the alarms and stuff. Somebody should be keeping an eye on him. Turning into Christian Bale having a meltdown on set over the swan. Ah, you were looking at the like, good for you. I hope it was good because the take's ruined now, isn't it? If you've never heard Christian Bale losing it on set with a light guy, that's like peak. That's when internet was amazing. That could come out and we're all like, this is incredible. If that happened now, do you know how hard he would be cancelled and like, oh, he's so horrible and all of this crap. It's hilarious. He's an actor. He's on set. He's trying to do a scene. A guy's, you know, getting in the way in the background ruins the thing. It's an emotional scene. It's intense and that. I'm someone I don't mind if people would like, in these high pressured situations, every so often, everyone is just human, you know? You're gonna have a little snap sometimes. As long as you apologize afterwards and we grow from stuff. This idea that you as a human being, because we are all one, right, is like you're meant to be perfect and you know, never have a slip, never lose your temper. This world is so hard. Life is tough, okay? It's hard enough as it is. Sometimes you're going to slip. You know, you don't want to be a dick, but sometimes you might act like one. That doesn't mean you are one, and that's okay in terms of just growing from it and accepting that maybe you spoke out of turn, had the wrong kind of vibe or something. And it's also, sometimes you just gotta let go. Sometimes you gotta like lose it a little bit on a set or something. Such a great audio piece. It's like, I get it, you know, for him to do that. And I think the reason we kind of chastise things like that in people so much is because we're kind of ashamed of that part of ourselves, but you should love that part of yourself. Not embrace it, not do it more often, but we've all lost our temper on an occasion, you know? You can grow from that. It's just as important sometimes that these things happen and you accept, actually I don't like how I behaved there and I want to, you know, move on from that and grow from it. And I think Christian Bale did, you know. Tom Cruise meltdown on set, that's another good one. And he's like freaking out because it's, you know, they could get the place shut down because it was during the whole lockdown thing, and it's like, people's jobs are on the line here. It's so good. What are you doing, Martin? Are you wondering where these rocks appeared from because you were planning an escape? Like some sort of claymation Wallace and Gromit Christmas episode? Was that the plan here? It seems like that was the plan here. And I foiled it, so you have to find another way around. Oh, your mate's back. I can't wait to see the signets. The random stuff we talk about. I'm defending Christian Bale in 2026 for something that happened about 20 years ago. Look, I could watch these swans all day. That does not sound like a swan. What is that? Where are you from? There we go. She's in the water, he's in the water, things may happen. Alright, let's get to it. Let's continue decorating this area. It looks like people are only going to look from the bridge and aren't actually going to come this way, so it may change what we do with this pathway in terms of it may lead off to other things. I kind of thought they would come this way and look. It looks like they're just going to hang out on the bridge. That's also fine, but it does mean we'll theme this as part of the British as well. Ah, I just remembered something someone said in a comment. Was that there are quiet signs? That if we put something here for people, where would it be? Facilities maybe? That there's a sign that asks people to be quiet, and this might be why animals are stressed. So let's see. Guest facility? Information? They said it's like a quiet please sign. Media devices and education. Maybe if I put quiet in the thing. No? Sign? Aha. Guest barrier. Memorial plaque. Do not disturb, do not feed. I don't know if this actually works. But there was at least one comment, maybe more, that said this helps people know to be hush. And then it might be less stressful for the animals. Because the red pandas have quite a bit of space and places to hide, but they get stressed quite often. So I just remembered that suddenly. Right, so we've got our swans in. We shall wait for them to meet and to hopefully breed. Martin is still just having a little swimmy swim. Hasn't even made his way over to the other river yet, which is going to cut through everywhere. So let's start to build this out from here, our little British garden. I love that you can see, this is why I love the barrierless zoo, that the zebras look so cool over here as you just come over and see them together. And let's go ahead, and before I forget, bring in a lady zebra. Lady zebra coming to Marvel. What's your special power? Just stripy. I'm just stripy. Fell asleep on a toaster. Panini press. Alright. There we go. To hang out with those three lads. It's like an episode of Blind Date. Now over here, I think what would be really cool, it's kind of a long-term picture, but how cool would it be if this river does go around and we somehow incorporate that into everything? I almost am thinking, I wonder if I could bring it around here and then have a bridge over to the shops, or if we just have the shops here and it goes around the back. That also might be really nice. And I think a little bit easier. So let's get a couple of staff facilities, and let's go say hello to Norbese. Norbese, the zebra, who's come in injured. They always come in injured when they've been rescued. Sad and sorry state of affairs. But the vet is there, rushing as they should, to take care of them. So let's get a few shops over here. Not for profit, but just for the vibe. Or, ooh, animal exhibits. Maybe that would be fun. Because we haven't actually done any of those yet. Are there any kind of British ones? Britishy buildings. Grasslands walkthrough exhibit. What is this? Looks like Kew Gardens. Okay, that could be really special actually in our British area. Good to know. We've got East Asia, we got the conservation stuff. Classic small exhibit, Australia exhibit. Oh yeah, I got the Australia DLC. I'm going to do an Australia area. But then where do you see what those actually are? Are these already... Let me try placing one and see. So if I take a look at the Australia exhibit, if I put that down, do you still have to get the thing that's inside it? Ah, there you go. Exhibit animal. View. So we have centipedes. Dude, when my windows were open during the heat wave at night, when it was hot, I would open all my windows up to let the air out and cold air in. I saw a little centipede. I'm upstairs in this room, and it was come in my window and was crawling along the wall next to me. I haven't seen a centipede in maybe, God knows how long, 20 years? It's like, what are you doing here? He said, it's too hot outside, mate. I had to bring all my legs up here. I used all my legs to climb all the way up your wall and climb in your window to get some cool air. I said, well, that's silly, because hot air rises, so it's actually hotter in here than it will be outside. He went, oh, bloody hell. I'll go outside then. Sorry for disturbing. I said, yeah, you're creepy. Get out. We've got axolotls, a boa constrictor. Oh, I don't even like that one. I don't even want to say it. I don't know if you know this about the creatures with 8 legs, the S word, but if you say it, they hear you and then they show up. If you actually say the word, it summons them, so I don't say it. I just say them things. They creep me out. We've got, what's this? Cloudless sulfur. Is that a moth? Looks like a big moth. We got some snakes. We got some newts. Turtles. Turtle in the Turtle Club. We got some, oh my god, fruit bats. Fruit bats. Why would they be in a little exhibit? They should be in a walkthrough. It's like my story that I told in part 1 when I protected a fruit bat. Although that was called a flying fox, but I think a flying fox is a fruit bat. European peacock, but it's a butterfly. Ew, big cockroach. Scorpion. A snail. Oh, I don't like those ones. Oh, iguana, cute. Lots of moths and stuff. Doing a butterfly house would be cool. Did you ever go in a butterfly house as a kid or as an adult? where you walk through and you have to be, they have an actual flying fox. Oh my gosh. They have the flying fox. Let's look at its Zoopedia. There he is. Little guy. They're endangered. Spectacled flying fox. A species of megabat. Cool name. That lives in the tropical rainforests and mangroves of New Guinea, as well as northern Queensland, Australia. The spectacled flying fox is covered in black fur with yellow-white coloration around the neck. Due to habitat loss, climate change-related factors and urban development, the spectacled flying fox is considered endangered, viewed as pests by farmers due to frugivorous nature, which leads to their roosts being destroyed and individuals being shot. So we're about to learn a word here, because I don't know what frugivorous means. Does it mean they eat a lot of fruit? Frugivorous. Of an animal feeding on fruit. Let's listen. Oh, this is how you say it.
Frugivorous.
Can you hear that? Let me turn it up a little bit.
Frugivorous.
Frugivorous. Frugivorous. Cool. Next time someone offers you an apple, go, I am a little frugivorous. Hey, do you want a banana? I am known to be a little frugivorous. I guess I could go for a banana. Do it. That's your homework. Okay, so let's bring in some shops and some facilities. We will definitely get a flying fox in at some point, though it won't suit what we have going on here just yet. So let's go to guest facilities and see, is that not shops? I thought it was shops. Aha, there we go. We were on the wrong thing. Let's let people get a little bit of a drink here. In terms of the design, look at this. We've got restaurant builds and all kinds of stuff. But nothing too Britishy vibed. Although the European food truck could be cute in this area, actually. Oh my god, that's adorable. And then it will feel like it's by the river, because we'll cut the river through and people can see that. This is perfect. This is perfect. This is what we're doing. So we'll go with one here. And then I'm picturing the river going da-da-da-da-da and around. Let's give this a little turn. Like so. And then, is there like colours for this? Is there a different colour? European food truck, it looks like it's just all that colour, doesn't it? Maybe have this one not totally symmetrical, but a little bit the other side, and that gives us room to like cut through and grow gardens around, and it just looks like they're parked up there. If I click on this, there is color editor. Okay, great. Ah, perfect. This game, honestly, the customization options available to you and to create stuff. And even in this series, I have barely scratched the surface of what you can do when you get into designing an exhibit. I've spent hours sitting before and just like, rather than plonking something down, doing all kinds of little additions, you know? Okay, so into the color editor, and then we'll go, oh, we can do even the highlights on it. I feel like red is a very like kind of British associated color. Red minis and stuff like that. We'll put red and white on this one. And this one, change its highlight. So like that. Cute. So now we put in a drink shop here. What would they drink over here? Water. Oh, wait. How do I... Food shop shell. How do we put someone in here? How do I... You can hear the motor running. That's so cool. For a second I thought my computer fan was dying. Why is this guy angry? I'd describe the view of the plains zebra from here as okay. Mate, why are you looking at the zebra from here? Go to the African part of the zoo. Okay, this tripped me up last time. How do I put a shop inside this? Edit. There's no edit button. Am I supposed to put that into here? Like this, I think. Ah, there we go. Now it's doing it for us a little bit, kind of. Okay, bit of a long way around it, but let's move that out of the way and do it this way. There's probably a better way to do this. Oh, it's obstructed because of the barrier. I see. That's why it's not letting me pop it in there. Right. So we need to edit our hedge. Let's pause it so they don't escape. Just bring it up this way for now. But it will eventually be more open because we'll also incorporate the deer into it. Still obstructed. I guess it just really doesn't want to be close to this. Take that back a notch. What are you obstructed by? The path? I guess it doesn't... Okay, so it's actually... It doesn't want to be on a curve like that. Let me try placing you from the beginning rather than putting you down. Facilities, drinks, and we're going to go with water. Actually, coffee. So British. Ah, there we go. Now it's doing it. And now we can get you exactly how we want. Rotated. Perfect. And now we just need to bring this forward. And rotate and get you all lined up nicely. In your food shop shell. Like this. But then you're popping out of the top like that. I don't think these are the shops that go inside these shells. Let me look it up. Okay, so a quick bit of Google foo. And what I found is this is how you do it. We go to facilities and it's these counters instead. I probably should have spotted these. And then you place these inside there, which is so cool. I'm guessing these came with the DLC. I don't remember seeing them before. I wonder if you could even do this as like a market. And it feels like people come to a market stall instead. Because actually what I'm deciding, with this being for sleep ambience, I think these trucks are a little noisy. So as much as I would love that look, it doesn't seem like I can turn the sound off. I'm wondering if I could kind of design like a market stall. Mute Swan is about to have offspring. Stop everything right now. Come on, baby. We have signets. I hope these look cute. I hope these look so good. Here she goes. It would be so cute if they actually laid eggs and sat in the nest for a while. But I think it's just going to pop out. She's sitting down. She's ready. And there it is, little signet. Look at this little baby. 2. One's going running. Welcome. 3. Welcome to the world. Any more? We've got 3. She's up. And they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. They look a little bit bigger than they do in real life. When they come out, they're tiny for the first few weeks. And they kind of get bigger. These look like little dodos almost. They start to look like this when they're a bit more juveniles in their colour. Starts to change. Is wonderful watching them turn to white once they're like 6-7 months in. They definitely come out smaller than this, because you would get 6 of these in her wings. They would sit here. They take a rest in the water, all 6 of them. They usually, quite typically, have 6, the ones that are near me. But not all of them make it. Such is nature. But we've got 3 beautiful little cygnets. Let's see what your names are. Wasim, Nathan, and Susan. I just love the representation of Martin and Robin going, here's little Susan, here's Nathan. What should we call the third one, love? Let's go Wasim. I've always loved that name. Sure. I'm actually going to do something we don't usually do, which is change the names of the animals to the ones that I actually look out for near me. So we're going to change this to Bella and Edward, Swan. And the last bunch of cygnets that I named, I called them Aragorn. Did that change? Oh, gotta save it. Aragorn. I gotta hit the enter button to change the name. Gimli. And Susan shall now be known as Legolas. And Susan's got a little gold medal there for animal appeal. She's a very healthy cutie patootie, apparently. And then we just need to change Martin to Edward. Oh my god, look at them swimming together. Bella and Edward swimming along, and the cygnets are following. This is cute. Wow. This is beautiful. Cutie pies. This is what we wanted. Little cygnets. These are chunky little cygnets. Got some weight on them. It'd be cute to watch these grow up. I wonder if they get like, I think they just have that. It just says they have matured and they just turn into swans. It'll be interesting to see what happens when they actually grow up. Juvenile 0.2, so they're already 0.2 years old. And on their way. But that's beautiful. So for this area, I wonder if we could build a little bit of a market vibe. I think that would work really well. A smoothie counter. Here. And then let me see, in terms of putting some kind of shell around this, what we have for decorations. We go into, oh, yeah, some kind of canopy over it would really bring it to feel like a market. Let's have a quick scroll through here and see what we have. There's an Arctic canopy. Maybe if I just put canopy in here, we'll see all the different kinds. African, Australian, classic picnic. That could be the one. There's New World. I think we're going to be between New World and classic. That's New World. That's classic. And another classic. I think New World fits the vibe. Animal has escaped. Oh, you little signet. Little sneaky signet. Having a little wander up here, are we? You absolute cutie. Go on, get back inside. Go to mum and dad. Habitat cleanliness. Oh, do I need a water purifier? Is that water not clean? Right. Pause. Edit barrier. Let's just move this slightly. That's you being a little bit naughty, isn't it? There we go. Now, water cleaning. Utilities. Water treatment. Okay. I thought I turned the water stuff off. Did I not? Let me see what I have in the settings before I place that, because it's so ugly. Sandbox. Animal settings. Social welfare. I guess I could turn that stuff off if it gets annoying. Enable water cleanliness. Ah, there we go. All water stays clean. Perfect. Take some liberties with our sandbox, I think, so I can just stop getting distracted. Oh. So wait, I was editing this. Enter group edit. Perfect. So we need to see where we want this to be. There's a little market stall. To the side here, I think. And go through the other things that we have. See, now that we've got all of these DLCs, the theming becomes a little bit distracting. So let's go into our filters and filter by New World so that stuff fits with our canopy. Unless there is like a British option or European. And that will help narrow things down to the vibe that we're looking for. I'm not going to do anything too complicated. Just something to make it feel like a market. A lot of lights to scroll through. Little nature scenes. Wood animals. Signs that you can stick to things. Lights. Ah, the rustic stuff is in a pack I don't have yet. I see. Pumpkins, vegetables. I mean, you could really make it look like a little market stall, couldn't you, with some fruit out front here? You are serving smoothies after all. What if the leg of the thing is a pumpkin? I think that works quite well. The legs of the table are a pumpkin. Or a squash, or whatever this is. And we can have a couple of potatoes around here. A marrow. Oh, don't put it there. Let's put it... Can I put it on the table? I think that would look good. See, show everyone how fresh it is. Oh. You can even put garden tools around. Very British. That works well. Have it sticking into the ground like that. And let's get a spade on the floor. So people queue up. It's a little bit of a vibe going on. I do kind of want like more of a canopy over the top of it. I almost want to do something that elevates the umbrella. So let's see what we have. This is cute, a little arch, but it's too big for what we want to do. Just need a little something, even a bin. Something to put stuff on top of. Let's limit to New World, make it easier to see. Ooh, a little fencing. The New World stuff doesn't look British enough. That kind of works. It's like a picket fence. But I'll see what other fencing options we have. Oh, maybe a lattice would work pretty well. Something like this. To make it feel less kind of just here. Feels a little less tacked on that way, I think. A little bit of a screen. And that way, when the river comes around, it makes more sense. People getting their drinks. We do need a bin nearby. If people litter, I'm going to be very unhappy. Oh my gosh, massive trellis. I'm going to look at the bins, because it might even be that I put a bin in for people. Anyway. I think we go with the classic bin. Quite a British looking bin there. We'll pop that right here. So people don't litter, hopefully. As they come through. For now. And then I kind of want this to be raised, so I'm going to put this here. It's got kind of a funky vibe. The Arctic bin works quite well, and then we're going to move the... Oh! I just re-entered the editing group, didn't I? I just want to move this umbrella to raise it onto our little stall here. I mean, a quickly thrown together market stall, not exactly what I had in mind, but it works. And then, you know, I kind of prefer a canopy across the top here. But for now, I'm going to do this because we're going to do the river around it and then work our way through that. So we don't want to go too crazy in case I have to move this. Dun, dun, dun. So we want to get some more flowers around here, I think would be good. But first we need to do our river design. Let's check on our beautiful swans. You guys eating? Wow, so much food. Look at all this. An absolute feast for you. Bird pellets. Having a munch. Swan eats dinner ASMR. Having a little chomp, having a wag of the tail. Fellas there doing some gardening. And the cygnets are all healthy and happy. So whilst that's going on, let's go ahead and move our river around. Because this is going to come through here. Although we haven't even seen them come through here, I think if they have a reason to, they may. Oh wait, do I need them out of the water before I think I do. What happens if I take the water out whilst they're in it? I think they just box up. We'll be okay. What happened to the water? Just floating. So what we can do is we're going to do a little bit more terrain sculpting. This is the terrain sculpting episode. Been so much of it going on for this area. And the lake turns into a stream and a river. I think we'll bring it around this way. Because then what I'm thinking we do is have bridges going over again. And there'll probably be like another enclosure here, so we'll have it open up into that space. I just want to make it slightly wide, slightly more pleasant for them to come down. Less jagged on the edges as I run around it again. Create that kind of curve that you see like on the map of London and the River Thames. On a much smaller scale as it winds its way through the city. Clean up those edges a little bit. And have it then come around into another kind of pond, where we will then have our deer and other stuff. Have that as a little enclosure and the swans can come and visit. And it will otherwise be gated off there. Give it a bit of a shape rather than circular. Let's go ahead and fill that water back in. Just give that a bit more of a curve. There we go. Just fill that space back. I love how the undo does it with the terraforming. So cool. Okay, let's put the water back in. And now we have this beautiful lake that cuts through and around into a river vibe, and we can start getting little bridges and stuff over that. We just need to clean up these edges. I think I need to take the water out to clean them up, because they look a little bit sharp. Turn the intensity down and just round those edges out. Jagged edges. Unsafe for all and unsightly for my eyes. Little touches on each jagged edge that just brings them in and makes it feel more natural before we add rocks and everything else. Like that. A few jagged edges along here just rounds them out nicely. Looks way better already. Blends it in before you've even done any other design work on it. Takes the harshness off of that edge that makes it look like it's a game tool that's done it. Anything that looks a little sharp, triangular, or unnatural. So then, when we put the water back in, it's just ready to go. You won't have to think too much about undoing it again. Couple of jagged knobs on the ends, and just blend that in so they can get out as a little exit point also. And let's just blend in a little exit point here as well. Ready to go on either either side of the pond. And put the water back in. Oh, there we go. Done. Looks much better. Could use a little bit cleaning here, but we'll wait till we do that enclosure. Do you like how I talked through that even though I had no idea what I was doing? Yeah, just a little less intensity here, just marking that off. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I guess I've got, the thing is I've got to actually expand this barrier now, haven't I? Into something that they can't climb out of. It's another consideration. I think we'll almost have the hedge come down to here. And then change it to a null barrier, and then we'll put like an actual kind of like little fence along it, like we did with the zebras. So the actual habitat is here, and there'll be a fence along the edge. Just change the height so this goes a bit quicker. Along the edge where they won't climb out and get to, because we'll have a fence all the way along it. And then this will be in another enclosure, which they will be able to climb out of and walk around, but for now, we need to set it to the edge of the river. Dun, dun, dun. The things we do for the animals we love, hey? Okay, so that then being there, we need to put hedges here. And actually leave a space there. And bring the hedge to the edge. The hedge to the edge. We shall tidy this up after. I think at the moment they could actually just climb out of the side here. So this will also need hedging. But we don't know what's happening over here yet, so we'll leave it for now. Let's look for... Maybe the thing to do is to set up our next enclosure for the deer, actually. That they like to share with. We have red deer. Beautiful. And we also have the European fallow. I think we're going to go with the red deer, as that's like the British stag looking one. The red deer, a widespread species of ungulate living throughout the temperate grasslands, woodlands and scrublands of Europe, Asia and parts of northern Africa. Red deer have red-brown fur with a paler underside. Large pointed ears, large pointed ears, large eyes and a large snout. The species is sexually dimorphic. What does that mean? Males are larger than females and grow wide antlers with multiple branches. There are several subspecies of red deer in size. Red deer are not endangered and are a species of least concern. There are even invasive populations. Oh. And what sizing do you need? So they want a size of 3 to 9. They want to be in a big group, so we probably need quite a large area for them. They want 360 meters. And they don't need water or anything, but we're giving them a pond. And a grade 2 fence. Which would be the chain link, I think, is what we'll look at. For this, we'll kind of give that conservation vibe. And we'll have that be starting around here somewhere. Oh, I guess the other thing I have to look out for is if the merging of the habitats, having them together but not for the deer to roam around here. So if I have them in that same habitat and the habitat merges, the deer can like eat through the hedge. Oh, I'm confused is the best way to do this now. We'll work it out. It'll be fine. So let's have our deer coming along here. Deer. Nice long curved chain link fence. For this area. Make it so big that it does feel like conservation rather than a enclosure. So we'll have this big wide space come out and around. And they can actually, rather than roam along the back side of the river, we'll bring the fence up to here for it to be what actually keeps our darling swans in. And they can have a little roam on this slight side if they want. Alongside each other. I think actually what I want to do for a second is change this barrier, because we will put it instead on the other side to where they can't get to. So let me just remove the swan wall for a second so that things don't get confused. And continue with our fence. It may work, it may not work, but we're going to try and we'll see and worry about the outcome after. If this fence comes up to here and hits that wall, and then how do I close this? I guess with a null barrier of some kind that goes across things. Let's see, where do we want him to go to? Because I feel like the deer are going to go in the water. Can they swim? It said they didn't want water, but I think deer can swim. But I also then want the swans to be able to get in here. I think if we close it here, like if that goes over the water, that's then meaning that we can't have the swans come in. So we'll go to this little edge here with this fence, and then we'll null barrier across. So that should close that up. If the deer come this way. So I want to keep the deer constrained to up here, so we then put another little chain link here. So unless they swim through this little gap, which they may well do, they will be contained, and we'll have a wooden gate for staff up over on this side. And set our staff path coming out from here to connect up with our swannies. So that's then an enclosure here. We then want to set our swan barrier back. By perhaps connecting it there. Let's do the null first. So we can have that away from the water, just so it's not triggering alarms. But can we cut through this, or will it merge it? Okay, I just spent like an hour trying to work it out, how to do the habitat how we wanted with the river going through it. And I rebuilt the habitat so many times, and I just couldn't get it. It just kept merging with the other ones. I think because we're so close to this, and the way that it is. I think if I was building it starting from here, I could do it. But adapting what we've already built with where the barriers are is proving to be a real problem. So I think for now I'm going to continue as it is, and we'll have this family of swans in here. And then what we're going to do is just continue building out from here and maybe have some other swans and deer together somewhere else. Because I really tried. But I couldn't wrap my head around it. I built the fence so many times. You know, I tried lots of different ways. And that's okay. I always say never give up, but we tried a lot of different ways, and it got to the point where it was kind of stressing me out a bit, which kind of defeats the purpose of this series, so I've left it for now, and we'll continue on from here. So I've extended this into a bigger pool, as it'll be kind of the full stop on the swans, the Swan Lake, if you will, and rebuilt a little bit of that area that I had done. So we're going to continue building out from here, and what we're going to do is, I found, whilst I was trying to sort it out and build it, something called a guest gate. So there's something where guests can go in and then be in that habitat with the other animals. So for this area, we can actually break off and have them go in with the deer and have kind of a little woodland walk. And then maybe we'll put some other animals in there with them. And it's lucky that I looked, because red deer are dangerous in this game, so you actually need to put them in with the other kind of deer. So that's good to know. So where should we break off from? I want that to be kind of a little, it's notch for now. I think we'll literally have people come around here, and we'll have a little bit of a breakaway that becomes an entrance to a deer park, which there are a few of in the United Kingdom. I used to have to go through a deer park every day to go to school, high school. So I saw deer, every day, deer. I saw the deer every day, deer, tell thee. So this is a guest gate, and it's a gate that people can go through to get into somewhere. Being a little annoying at the moment for some reason. Perhaps what I need to do is build a fence across and then latch it onto that. I think what's happening is the more I play the game, the more ambitious my ideas get, and then I'm bumping up against how ambitious you can actually be, if that makes sense, you know? Which is very common in terms of anything you do, where your ambition or your wish, your desire can bump up against your own ability or your knowledge up to that point. And sometimes with stuff like that, the only way out is through, you know? There was a bit of like, I don't want to say controversy, but there was a thing recently of people were complaining that there are big words in books. And they were saying, when you write a book, you should use smaller words so that people can understand it. And so then there was this bit of a firing back of, that's part of learning, you know? You see a word, and if you don't understand it, you look it up, and then you learn what that word is. And I have to say, as someone who reads books for a living on the audiobook podcast, Down to Sleep, everywhere you get podcasts, I'm forever looking words up, especially in old classic lit, you know, stuff that has been around for 100 years. Something like Pride and Prejudice, when I was doing that, certainly at the beginning, every other line, I'm having to look it up. There's absolutely no shame in learning in that way. It's how you get better, you know. And certainly that when I first tried to read Pride and Prejudice, it was a little intimidating, and I ended up not going back to it. And then years later, after I'd read books for a few years on the podcast, I went back to it and I gave it another go. And read the whole thing and got through it. You know, that's how we grow. So if you don't ever be ashamed of it, whether it's a book or something else in life, where you feel like you bump up against that limit and it takes a bit of time to get through, you know? You just keep going. So I think we're going to have it enter into a wood vibe. I'm going to risk using the lower resistance hedges for the entrance because it looks nice. And then from there we're going to bend out with some wood into a larger area. Sort of an experience that is attached. We'll kind of come up this way a little bit more, so you come in this way, and maybe doing the path would be the best thing to do first. Guests come in. We'll have a little bit of an entrance, and we'll bring them around this way. Oh, we could even do, actually, a bit of a loop and an exit. So you walk through it rather than turning around on yourself. I think that could be really cool. And we'll decorate this area with flowers and archways. Let's make a little bit of some longer paths here for a variety. Just feel like I don't want to go crazy with the path. We'll just have them kind of come up here. Don't want to give myself too big of a job to decorate. Not just yet. And here we'll have it turn into the chain link beyond this point so people can see and it feels less closed. And bring it out to here with a curve if we can. And we'll curve in, curve around. And then as we come across, we go back to our hedge exit. Curve up to meet the path. Another gate. Oh, I want it on the edge of the hedge. There we go. The edge of the hedge, the over the hedge sequel that you never knew you needed. And then that's our little exit. And we can hit them with a little bit more wood here. Do I want that, or do I want it to just actually go back on itself? Like this. That's what I want. And we'll just loop up and around and create a bit of space. Compare it with the rest of the park. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I think we're on the same page here, babe. Let's finish this wall off. So that connects up, so you don't really need people seeing from that side. We're also going to cover that in trees, the back end of it. But I'm looking at this little space in the middle, and I'm thinking it could use some water. Because if there's one thing that screams UK, it's a nice little pond. And that also gives us kind of the vibe of it being linked to the rest of this area. Doesn't need to be crazy. Just enough almost for the swans to enjoy. And we'll bring it right up to the edge there. So it looks even more natural. It's not dipped in. It's just like literally like a watering hole right up to the rim, the brim, the cusp, the lip, you know? So there we've got that. Now we need a staff gate to create this as a habitat, which will swing around on this side. Little secret wooden gate entrance exit here, sweetie. And connect that up with our staff path. Like this. May change to a normal path if we decide to expand up this way, but for now, it's just for this habitat. So let's go ahead and bring our deer in. And we're going to go, because people are going to go in there, we go with a different kind of deer. Deer. What's your favourite pet name, dear? Hello, dear. I sound like I'm talking to an old lady when I say that, though. And we're going to bring in a beautiful stag. And a couple of ladies. A doe deer, a female deer. I'm assuming, from my limited knowledge of deers, that it's a stag and a bunch of does rather than multiple stags that may rut, but we'll see what it says when they come in. And then this, the plan is, this becomes a nice little walkabout for people. Do you know what? I feel like the hedge should be chain link, looking at it now. In there, then it changes to wood on that side. That's chain link. That's wood. I think that looks a little bit cleaner. So you've got your viewing area if you're not comfortable going in, or for you to see what it looks like before you go in there. We'll have some information here. And then the rest of it is as it should be. In terms of the shape of the zoo, it's looking really nice over there, I think. Now with that big water patch and the bridge over. And they've arrived. Here they are. Beautiful European fallow deer. Fallow. We're very excited, and now we can see what they need. Terrain-wise, they want some hard shelter, which I think I need to give to the swans as well. Habitat. Filter. Species. European fallow deer. And let's give them a nice wood shelter at the back. Place to hang out. Place to relax. Not a metal one. Could you imagine in the heat? Classic shelter. That's very cute. That's very Royal Park looking. As is this. That's gorgeous. What else do we have? An East Asia shelter. The New World one's pretty nice, but it kind of looks like a bus stop. Classic Planet Zoo looks like an empty barn. And that blends in with the fence too much. So we're going to go with the classic shelter, which looks quite regal, but it makes a nice central point for our park, actually, to build around. And let's just make sure this is nice and snug up against the fence, but not clipping through it. Roof can go over, that's fine. And then just check. I think that's a lovely position for it. So they've now got a hard shelter and we need to put down some bedding. I think they would like some leaves, don't you? Just sleep in there. If I press play, hard shelter goes up. Perfect. So they like short grass. So we come over to our terrain painting. And get a nice big size on that. And we'll change it all to short for a spell. They don't mind a little bit of long, but I want to work out where I put the long, and I think mostly around the shelter is where that's going to look nicest. Like that. And then we'll bring the size down and just kind of blend around the path. Not on the path, around the path. With a little bit of long grass. Just to the point where they don't want any more. So now they're totally happy with that. I wonder if I could do a little soil trail. Will they allow me? To where it's just a little bit of a like... Feels like a sort of lead in to where they sleep, you know? It's well trampled and traversed ground that then just kind of like fades away from the different directions of where they come in. Fill that in a little bit with some shorter grass where it's kind of trod down and fed upon as they get up. It just feels like it's a used space there. A little bit longer on this side. So let's get our enrichment in. And food and water. I'm going to have these off kind of behind trees and stuff because I don't love the look of the enrichment. They feel so unnatural. Something like a rubbing pillow we can have a little bit further in. And a grazing bull feeder over here. Ooh, there's some natural looking tree ones, a scratching tree. A Scots pine. That's lovely. Let's plonk that right there. Now they're happy with the enrichment. We move to food and water with a large food trough. We'll put it over by the staff entrance so it's not too far for them to go to feed. Keep that nice and topped up. And a large water trough. Which, do I want to put it by the water or just have it over here in this corner? Just here, I think. Wish I could put it right up against there, but I can't. What about a small one? I'm actually going to put a couple. Let's put a pipe over in this corner so they've got more water. So the deer are happy with their environment, but we want to do a little bit of decorating. It's a temperate and a grassland. Let's come over to nature, hit the filter. Take a look at temperate, what that vibe is. So that's kind of the vibe we've been going with so far, and then the grassland is a little more, is that more savanna-y? Save that for Africa, yeah? So we'll continue with our temperate decorating. And let's find a nice tree for this area. Certainly we want to fill this in. Oh, some beautiful oaks here. To make it feel woody. Different cork oak tree sizes. And bring one over in this corner. And then along this back, I'm almost thinking like a row of cypress trees would go a long way to making this feel less, how it is, you know? Less kind of like there's a fence there and you're kept in against your will. Put some different shapes and sizes in front. Bit of a natural line. Thicker in some spots, shorter in others. We'll keep going until we hit this tree here. And then that just looks a little bit more like that's the background rather than a really long wooden fence, which is a little unsightly. And honestly, like a little beautiful bushy tree like that look really nice here by the pond. A yew tree. Let's see what else we have. Ooh, a lovely acacia. Some more ivy. Nettles around the pond would look quite nice, I think. A little patch. And then it sort of comes out into bushy shapes around it. Like let it grow, you know. And some lines that break off. Just little bits of growth, and then that leading into where our tree is would be really nice. Oh, a mighty oak as a centerpiece with a bunch of nettles. Let's pick which oak we like. It's got to be the big one with the big trunk. That one's got a lovely shape to it, but this one has a lovely, lovely trunk. Let's go with this. That looks wonderful. And then we can kind of circle the nettles around it. So it's like claimed by nature, this world. Oh, don't want those on top. There we go, get them in the slot. Slip in there, wonderful. So it starts to take shape as this little bit of a walkthrough. And then we can also have another family of swans in here, or maybe if the cygnets grow up, they could move into here so we don't have to get rid of them. And other touches we could do is just like what we've done elsewhere, is you could start putting ivy along this wood fence to kind of blend things in a little bit. Might look really nice at the door, actually. Is if we do a couple of bits of ivy along here to help blend it in. And then what I was going to do is merge in this arch as an entrance. And we start to get things taking shape in a way of welcome to the park. And then probably want to put it on this side as well. Up here. Slide that right in. Turn it a little bit. It's not the perfect size, but it's a size that'll do. And just, I think that's good. And then let me just, kind of wish I could, I think if I go down with it here, it'll clip through. I wonder if we brought this down and then actually covered it in ivy. The bits that are sticking out, if that will work better. Let me try that. Try it on this one. Push the archway down so it actually arches in the gate. But then we'll have to bring in some ivy. And rather than the big clump, we'll go with one of these vertical covering clumps. Like this. To kind of cover those little notches here. Oh, they are not even touching the fence. We need to pull those back. There we go. Look from all angles. Because it's looking good. It's taking shape. It's the kind of thing you just want to be a little bit careful how much stuff you're adding and how much you just let go, because pretty soon when the park's full, if your PC's not great, it can start to cause an issue if you've got tons of scenery creating elaborate pieces. But I don't think we're going to run into that problem. There is an ivy corner here. I wonder if we could make that work. If we face it that way. It's not terrible. Just need to get it against the fence there. I think that kind of works. Just rotate it slightly off of that corner. And that just blends that knob in on the side. That side a little bit harder because it's got the chain link fence. But I think just taking it off of the gate like that is probably the right move. Oh yeah, there we go. We can hide some of the ivy in the actual gate. And that blends that in nicely. Let's hit play and see if people actually go in there before we go any further. And see our deer running around. Look at that. Running straight for their shelter. Taking a look along the dirt path. And loving their space. So socially, they're actually very happy, just with 3 of them. I think that would be a good place to stop with them and let them breed, rather than putting loads in. And we're about to have our first guests through the gates. Here they come. They've entered the guest gate. Go on, take a walk. You're kind of just staring at a fence right now. Filming nothing. And we can do some lovely flower decorating along the edges. Oh my gosh, she's taking a swim, look. Oh. At least I hope she's swimming. And the deer having a dip on a hot day. That's beautiful. I love how they use that. So people can come here and respectfully take a look at the deer and the animals. Now it's said on the Swan one who they like sharing with. Does it also say that here? Social. As to who else could come in here. Natural habitat. Species. Because We could bring swans in. Interspecies enrichment, there you go. So we can have swans in here. I think wild boar will not be in one that people can go through though. It might just have to be swans and deer. Here she goes, getting out of the water. Gracefully. Like a Bond girl. Just changed her mind. She felt shy, went back out the other way. Alright, here she comes. Waiting for attention, I think, from the people here. And she's out. Nice. And there we have a beautiful deer habitat now, very quickly put together, with lots of fine details to add with the flowers and decorations inside, fill these gaps in here. And I think it would make sense if we brought this topiary over here to welcome people in. And there we go, we've got two beautiful large new habitats built today. With our swans, our cygnets doing well, and our deer. And the start of a little British centre. Certainly wasn't expecting this to be the gathering spot for people to look at the swans, but it works. We'll have a little market here. We'll carry on. And then next time, hopefully, we'll see if we get to the savannah. Maybe even do a little safari drive through, because I got the African DLC. So we've got lots more African animals to come in. I mean, look at that. Look at that majestic little bump there that the zebra is leaning on and looking out at. That is incredible. Where's picture mode? I need to see this without anything on it. That looks absolutely amazing. She's copying the polar bear structure here. So we put a little couple of bumps in. That's worked out quite nicely. That wasn't intentional at all, but just changing the terrain a bit, and now how she's standing and looking at everyone is quite something. And there we go. We'll continue on. As always, let me know in a comment what you thought, if this helped, and of course what animals you'd like to see next, and any tips that you have as I continue to play this and learn it over again, and learn what I never knew the first time. What you'd like to see in the British area, what you'd like to see in the savannah. And if you don't know what to say, just tell me that you love swans. Just say, I love swans, and I love this video. And that'll do. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you enjoyed part 3 of my Planet Zoo build here on the channel. Let me know if you want part 4 in a comment, and check out the other 50 episodes in lots of different games right here on the channel for more videos like this one. And I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful night, a beautiful rest of your week, and I hope to see you again. Good night.